Hey guys, this is Nathan Ebertson reporting to you about my social media creator studio. This is going to be a presentation on the English language arts classroom of the future. Now, every time I walk into my classroom, I teach ninth grade English language arts and ELD. I have to address my class and tell every student to please turn off or silent their cell phones, place them away in their bags. And this has become a ubiquitous issue, something that not only me, but countless other teachers deal with on a daily basis. According to a recent Pew Research study done in 2018, 95% of teens now report they have a smartphone or access to one. This is the guiding philosophy of my project, is that if students are using their cell phones and are on their smartphones and are engaging in social media, why don't we design a classroom that, instead of fighting against that, can harness that social media as a learning tool? So that's my starting point. I want to talk a little bit about my learners to get started. So I work at Arroyo High School, which is a mid-size urban high school in San Lorenzo, California, serving about 4,000 students. Um, this is the ethnicity breakdown. So as you can see, 49% of the students at Arroyo come from Hispanic or Latino backgrounds. We have 11% Caucasian, 7% African American, 20% classify as Asian, and 12% Filipino. We also have 1% Native Hawaiian, and a very, very tiny portion of American Indian or Alaskan Natives. The economics of the area that I teach in are as follows. 51% of students at Arroyo High School are considered economically disadvantaged, meaning that they qualify for free and reduced price lunch. San Lorenzo is a small working class kind of outer ring suburb of the East Bay. Most of the students that come to my classes come from working class families whose parents work either in the service industry or in some of the factories that are in the South Bay. Okay, here we have a couple pictures of my classroom. You can see all my bright and shiny students, how I miss them so much. They're having a great time working on Adobe Spark project for their ELD class. And some of the goals of this space is that it will serve as a regular classroom. It will also be creative and welcoming environment, and it'll be utilized to do project-based learning throughout the school year. Some of the learning objectives: by the end of the year, students will be able to demonstrate best practices of digital citizenship and media literacy, which is something I think is a large learning gap in our school curriculum. Students will also be able to show understanding of the stages of production, pre-production, post-production, things like that. They'll learn how to edit sound and images to amplify their story, and they'll also work cooperatively to give constructive feedback in a studio environment. Our objectives are also going to be focused around the English language arts and the Common Core standards for English language arts and ELD. This here is a picture of my office, which is adjacent to the classroom, and we're going to talk about these two rooms here right now. So here we have, let me move my screen over so we can see this. We have the classroom as it is, pretty much with all the chairs and desks set up as they are right now. The two main differences are going to be, I'm going to create an editing station or editing bay with two desktop iMacs in the back corner. This will be kind of divided away from the regular classroom by some room dividers so that students can't just go and mess around on the computers. Also over here in my office, we're going to be converting this to an audio and video recording area. So the audio area is up here with an iMac up here to record sound. So students can do some podcasting up here. We also have a tripod with a lighting rig set up and a green screen background. All these wavy lines represent sound proofing that I'm going to be installing into this office area so that the students can use this and sign up for times to do video recording and audio recording. Some of the hardware, basic iMac desktop computers. I did a lot of research to find the GoPro Hero 8 is the best HD video camera. With It has a very um, sturdy body to it. It's very hard to break. This is for students who don't have access to smartphones or their own camera. I'm going to get some mini tripods and selfie sticks, one big tripod for the classroom, some microphones, soundproofing panels, mic stands, mobile sound recorders for recording interviews, voice interviews in the field for their podcasts. Some of the software that we're looking at is Adobe Spark. I've been using this year with my students. It's very easy for simple video, social media posts, web banners. Adobe Photoshop is good for creating thumbnails and photo editing and assets for their videos and social media posts. Premiere Rush is another Adobe product that is kind of a stripped down version of Premiere Pro, which is an video editing software. And then on the Macs, we have already pre-installed GarageBand and iMovie, which are audio recording editing and video editing, respectively. Um, these are some accommodations I'm looking for: U.D.L, Universal Design for Learning, Privacy and Security, and Diversity. So these three things I'm going to look at right now. Universal Design for Learning. This encompasses multiple forms of engagement, representation, and comprehension. This is a project-based classroom, so the engagement piece, it engages students where they are on social media already, with 95% of students having access to smartphones and on social media. The representation and comprehension pieces are addressed because we are going to be an English classroom. We're learning the English standards, but we're doing it in different ways that allow for a lot of different choice for all of the students to get involved in projects throughout the school year. Privacy and security is going to be a big issue with this project, obviously. I am going to be in contact with parents, sending out permission slips at the beginning of the school year, and also keeping them updated on all of our projects and making sure that we have open communication. The district policy on technology use is also a very important document that I will need to follow to the T, and also YouTube policy on videos for minors. They have a lot of different legal um, things to get through. So by maintaining open relationships with the parents and being clear and transparent in what the project is all about, I hope to address these needs. And finally, I want to end with a quote by Zaretta Hammond, who is the famous educator and researcher who wrote Culturally Responsive Teaching and the Brain. And she says, the only way to get students to open up to us is to show them we authentically care about who they are and what they have to say and how they feel. Student voice needs to be front and center of any classroom. Students need to also know that their personal experience and their lived stories matter, and students need to be able to share their story. When we're doing projects in the classroom that just stay in the classroom, students aren't going to be as excited about it. So with these three things, student voice, experience, and sharing their stories, I hope to create an inclusive and collaborative working environment that teaches students not only how to be critical thinkers in today's world and use technology safely, but to but to learn how to be learners, learn how to be expert learners, which is the main key of education. Okay, that's my presentation. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time.